and welcome to a scene in the Blood Feud Chronicles. We start a scene in the 11th century Hamburg where Torsten is out for the night to do some business. He is standing outside Midian's church where Midian prays, or at least this last time they met Midian was in this church. As he walks in, he can see Midian kneeling in front of the big cross in the middle of the church, and yeah, not so many people around. There's a quiet man sitting in the corner praying to himself, but other than that, there is no people inside the church besides you and Midian. What do you do, Torsten?
Thorsten walks into the church as he sees Midian praying.
I can't hear you. Can you put your mic closer to your face?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The fuck is up with this thing?
No, I can't still hear you. Sorry.
One moment. God damn it. Is it better now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have what is it? A fracture in the wire. But um, I walk into the church and basically, as I see Midian praying, I will wait for a moment until he finishes. But if it takes somewhat longer, he will make himself audible in order to just.
You stand there for about 10 minutes, and he doesn't seem to be anywhere near finishing. He's just in prayer, talking about gibberish. As you clear your throat, he looks over to you, but continues prayer for a while, and then he stops, maybe 5, 10 minutes later after that. And he stands up, looks at you, looks at the man sitting in the queue along, and he walks up to you. Well, child, good eve to you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And Torsten knows he kind of interrupted him, so he will. I'm sorry for interrupting your prayers. But I had some questions to ask, and I think you are the best, most suitable person in this town to ask.
No worries, child. Have a seat. And he points you to one of the benches along the church wall as he takes a seat.
Torsten will just follow and take a seat where he's basically guided towards. And as he will say, first of all, I have to ask, how long have you been in this city?
Well, about a good 250 years, maybe?
Excellent. You can see Torsten's just his face lifts up. It's somewhat of a sparkle of hope, basically. That's good. I have a question which dates back quite a bit in time. Roughly 200 years ago, there has been a raid on this city. Well, probably more than one in the period of time. But it seems that during one of these raids, one of my kin was here and met his. As he takes a look around, as he sees there is indeed one man, so tries to take a look if he's paying attention at all to them or not. He met his final night, final day, the end. And that person was carrying something of great value, but also somewhat of great danger. I was wondering if you had any recognition of this.
He sits down and thinks, uh, and just shakes his head. No, no. Well, besides me, during that time, a man came. What's his name? Hans. Yes. No. No, Hans. No, he came. He came later. Who was it? Harald Geiger. Yes. Yes. He came. He
As,
was the third within the city after Hans. and then Wolfgang. So I wouldn't know. I haven't heard of any of these things. But maybe you should talk to them.
Yes. Well, see, and Torsten, because Torsten has a small pendant basically, and I'm going to assume the one he's looking for is just a bigger but more. Mm, because he has a small, one of the serpentine, what is it, the necklaces basically, and I'm going to assume it's basically the same sort of look. So he will just show it. It's basically somewhat like this, but perhaps a bit more decorative, a bit better worked out. The thing is, it belongs to but people of my clan. It tends, when worn by others, it tends to bear ill effects over a long period of time. Fits of.
Manipulation subterfuge.
Yeah. One moment.
And this is gonna hurt you because Midian is a son of a bitch when it comes to these things.
I'm going to 10 is double because I've conjure effects. 6 successes would that would be.
So he listens to you, yeah?
Let the sweet venom sip into your ear. Sorry. The amulet will have long-term effects. It will fits of rage, madness, all sorts of odd and strange behavior about the person. I'm not. I haven't been informed exactly on how long or what recurring or what the very long-term effects are, but it's advised to not have this on one's body without being it from one of our clan.
Well then, child, you should really look them up. I have no idea about this necklace. I don't look about to see about these small things. As he points to himself, he's only wearing dusty robes. As you see, I am not a material person myself, so you can talk with the others, would you?
Yes, as Thorsten stands up and he will just say, thanks for at least guiding me in the right way. For this, I will, of course, as promised, speak in your behalf on the upcoming banquet.
And he just waves you away almost as he stands up, not even talking to you, and returns quickly to prayer in the same position he was in before.
Thorsten just heads outside, and I got two names, Hans and Harold, I think it was.
Harold Geiger, Hans, and of course Wolfgang.
He met Wolfgang before, so I think that would be the best next thing.
Um, would you roll me investigation perception to find Wolfgang? Actually,
To see if I can, because I don't think I have investigation. I don't know if I can roll that.
um, actually, no. You would know where he is.
Oh.
Actually, you make your way to a tavern, and he's there usually, as you have heard from him yourself. And when you come in, you see him sitting down, sipping on ale.
Is he sitting alone or is
Oh
he?
yes, very very much alone.
Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, he's
There,
sitting.
there is of course other people within the establishment.
Yeah, Torsten will just make sure he's seen by him. He's not going to try and sneak up on him or anything. Just getting into his vision, field of vision, and then approach him.
So you make yourself seen, and he sees you, and doesn't really pay you no mind at first. He nods to you and continues with his ale, but as you stand there for a while, he shrugs and waves you over.
Torsten will approach him then, and if it's possible, he will sit down for a moment and.
Um, He looks at his ale and looks to you. So, what's the problem?
I've just had a chat with Midian regarding. And he takes a look around because it's quite crowded here, so he doesn't want to spill too much into the unnecessary information here. I just had a chat with Midian regarding something, and I'm trying to track something down that's been lost here. He gave your name as one of the members who has been here one of the longer periods of time. Um, this is regarding something dating back quite a bit, roughly 200 years. Uh, it concerns a attack on the city, a raid in which one of, and as he's trying to lower his voice at this point a bit, one of my kin met his end.
What is your kin?
Oh, he does. Oh, uh, how? Just a quick for you. How would the Nordics one? Would they also just be known as Sethites or?
Yeah.
Okay, the Sethites.
It looks at you and shrugs. Well, I was one of the first within the city, but I was not even born at 200 years ago. So I wouldn't know. Ask someone else, Harold or Hans or Midian, but I guess you already talked to him.
I see. Oh, sorry for wasting your time. Thorsten is a bit confused as why Midian would give his name if he wasn't even around. But yeah, he will just simply ask, could you, because I don't know if he got directions, could you point me in the right way of this Harold Geiger individual?
Harold lives in a town manor within the city, and he begins to give you loose directions. Very, very loose directions. Um, but you get the gist of where he wants you to go,
Yeah,
more or less.
somewhere around that area.
Yeah, it's like he says something like, "Well, you take the right at the marketplace, and there's several rights you can actually walk at that point, and but you get where he wants to lead you, which is one of the more wealthy parts of town, basically, with a lot of bigger houses." Which leads you that you need to do some investigating while you're there. On the other hand, but yeah, you get the gist of where he wants you to go.
So he'll follow up. He will probably stick out quite a bit in that area, but he will go there anyway and try to locate this individual.
So you're basically in this more or less well guarded area of the city where people are happy. There's more wealthy families actually living here than the small time traders or day workers within the city, who lives in the more slums of the city.
Basically,
Now,
upper class area. This, from what I okay,
yeah, yeah. And well, how the how are you gonna find this man? Because there's a lot of houses here. There's about 40 houses, unless you go from house
door
to
to door.
house
Yeah.
knocking doors.
Well, as you said, it's quite well guarded. So I would assume there are guards around in this district, if you will, or at least people of somewhat a protective nature. I'm going to assume someone. And the best thing would be, in my opinion, would be to approach one of them and see if I can get any information.
So you walk up to a guard. You see guards patrolling from time to time. So you walk up to a guard. What do you say?
As he approached the guard, I would assume they walk in pairs.
Oh yeah, two and
Yeah.
two.
Good evening. Could I bother you for a moment to ask a question?
And they begin to speak in a tongue you don't know. Uh, with each other. You can guess that it's sometime talked in the south of the Holy Roman Empire.
Oh yeah, that's something I don't know. No.
Yeah, it's you can hear some Germanic tongue in it, but it's not so much as anything like you ever heard before. So you can't really understand what the fuck they're talking about. But one of the guards answers you in Germanic. Uh, well, you see, you can fuck off. And they begin to walk along one more time. Just walking down the patrol as normal.
Okay. Thorsten just evaluates this for a moment. Probably somewhat, again, bad blood between something happened to their country or some. So he will wait for another patrol and then he will just take a different approach and offers some money.
And you see that as when you walk up to them and can I get some information? You actually show some money. You know, it, they look a lot of like the same, like these people, and they talk in the same tongue. But yeah, like as soon as you push up some money, they're all ears. Well, what can we do for you?
I have a quick question. I'm looking for Harald Geiger. Was wondering if you could point me towards the direction of his estate or his manor.
No, don't know no Harald Geiger.
This proves somewhat difficult. As Thorsten nods and he will pay them because that's of course what.
No, yeah.
But yeah, also well, thanks anyway. And he will just start to wander a bit through the district basically because he's now a bit at a loss where to head to. Um,
And as you are walking around, do you have awareness?
God damn it! Fucking shit touched close to me. Yes, I have one dot in it.
A roll perception awareness.
No problem.
The difficulty 8.
Ouch. Nope.
Okay. You're walking around. What do you do?
This is getting difficult. What does he see on the street? Is it quiet or is it?
The streets are mostly quiet. You can't really see anything, that grabs your interest in any sort of way. Would you had anything that grab your interest? It would be in the merchant area where people are actually selling goods, or outside where there's taverns and inns and such, or in maybe in the slums where people might be prone to fighting from time to time, or and so on. This area of the city is quiet. You can't so much as hear, besides, maybe people talking with each other and you can hear it through the houses and stuff like that. No, you can't really see anything. The houses are big. The houses are decorated with various types of, smaller statues and such. It's a lovely little neighborhood.
Okay. Is there something of a? I'm going to assume these people have an inn or a tavern or something like that. So.
Not in this area, there would not be, no.
Oh, nothing. Okay. So it's basically just housing, and that's roughly it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think this area is for the moment not going to yield any results. So he will try to find if there is somewhat more of a upper class inn, if you know what I mean. Basically, somewhat more expensive tavern.
And as you're walking away, um, Walking away through this area, you can hear a whisper behind you. Would you would you come over here?
Can I see him, or am I just hearing stuff?
As you turn around, you can see a shape from an alley covered up in a robe, things covering its face. Come over
Uh,
here.
Thorsten will put his right hand on. He will, as you know, he has the axe in the ring, and he will basically lift the head of the axe a bit so he can put his hand under it. His right hand. He won't draw it, but yeah, just a precaution because okay, this is kind of some shady shit going on here. So he will carefully walk towards the individual.
As you walk towards the individual, you can see a small slit where the eyes are, which basically it's this bandaged up shape. And as you come up closer, you can actually see it's not a he, it's actually a she. But this almost gurgling voice, like maybe like this thing is almost choking on its fluids, or has been underwater for too long. It's almost like this horrid freakish voice that comes from it. And as you walk up, you can see this shape kind of look and twitch from side to side as it looks at you. Yes, I never seen you around before. Who are you? Why are you here?
Also, just be careful and somewhat guarded, as this is, well, indeed, what this individual is asking is the same as going through his mind. I'm. I've just arrived in the city a while ago. Have
Okay.
you been following me?
For a while now, ever since you set place in this part of town. Why are you here?
I'm looking for someone.
For someone? Names, please. I don't like people stalking around. At least people I don't know.
I'm looking for Harold Geiger.
Harold. Okay, lower the axe, will you? Hands off, stranger. What's your name?
Thorsten will just take a look at the individual for a while. Doesn't matter too much. Thorsten is the name. And who am I dealing with, if I may ask?
My name is Vanya. I'm of Clan Nosferatu, one of the few within the city. Now, you're looking for Harold. Yes, sure. I know where he is.
And I'm going to assume you're not willing to share this information with me for kindness.
Oh, no, of course
No.
not.
So what would you require for said information?
How about we do it like this? I do you a favor and you do me a favor. I mean, something I can recall at some point, maybe. Maybe I just need someone to look the other way, or maybe I need some information from you at some point. Would that be fair?
Thorsten is just thinking, mulling this over, but it is in the end of the day for the betterment of his own clan, which is of course somewhat more of the important thing. And I'm quickly out of. I'm going to assume this is not going to be counted as a huge boon or something. This is
Oh
like
no,
the
no.
lowest of favors in my opinion. So I'm going
Well,
to
it's not a huge boon, but it
no,
is it is a boon.
yeah, not like yeah, you're going to have to kill that fucker now and. Okay, so yeah, he will. Someone she can see he's thinking on it, but
And as you're thinking on it, she moves from side to side, crossing her arms. Well, if you don't want it, I'll just go away. And she slowly begins to, walk back in the alleyway.
mm, fine.
What do you hear? Fine. Oh, good, great. Now, do you want to know where Harold lives?
Yes, if you would be so kind to share.
Oh, yes. It's right over there. And she points outside the alleyway to a house, filled with some more decorative stuffs in the front lawn, so to say. It's a big, more or less masonry-ish house, but still many wooden planks supporting it and so on.
They will not. I'll guess I'll be seeing you soon.
Maybe, maybe not. I'll be able to cash in that favor at some point. And she takes a step inside the alleyway. The alleyway was already, flooded with darkness, and as she takes a step in, she just disappears into nothingness.
Thorsten has seen this before because he's seen Halfdan doing it. Basically, just the vanishing trick, if you will. Not even that impressive because he's seen a giant doing it. So that's as he just turns around and moves towards the area she pointed
Mhm.
house in question.
Yeah, you see this house. Is said it's a big house. It's not a manor like the manor you were at when you were at Lucius, but it's a big enough house to house maybe five, six people, maybe seven even. And yeah, front door, some windows. You get the gist.
Thorsten will see if he can approach the door. Normally, he'll just knock.
Oh yeah, there's no guards or anything of notice you can see. So if you walk up to the place and you knock on the door, it takes a few minutes, but after a while you hear a lady voice on the other side asking you, "Who is it?"
Oh, good. He's assuming he's not looking for her. So, uh, good evening. This is. Oh, it doesn't matter his name. This is Thorsten Etelwolf. I am trying to mm, find some information, and I was pointed towards the direction of Harold Geiger. I was wondering if I could have a talk with him.
Oh yes, is Harold expecting your visit?
No, he is not.
Oh, I'll have a talk with him, and I'll be right back. She didn't even open the door. You didn't even see the lady in person, but you hear her walk away. And 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass, 20,
So a deep sleeper, all right.
25,
Thorsten is just at this point thinking he's been had basically by the individual.
30, and about it's and you're at this point of well, she's not coming back as you hear the voice from the other side again as the door opens. Well, yes, of course. And you see this petite little lady standing on the other side. She's older, an older lady, maybe enough, old enough to be your mother, something like that. Well, if she was alive, I would say. Uh, but yeah, and she opens the door to you and leads you in, and you can see this. It's a meeting hall as you walk in. One small stair leading to the upper floor. One actually going down into some sort of basement thing. Um, and she points to a chair. Just have a seat, and he'll be right down.
Okay, so the Thorsten will just take a look around and then just take a seat for a moment and.
It takes about 5 minutes. She even comes with a glass of water to you. Well, mug of water would be more appropriate to say. and after a while, you see a man, well dressed, much more well dressed than you are, with some jewelry on his hands, gray hair, older face as well. Walks down the stairs, looks at you, questionable look in his face as he takes a few steps and stands before you. Torsten, was it?
Yes. To avoid any confusion and why I came here and how I came to know of you, I was pointed in this direction by Midian and Wolfgang.
Continue.
I had some questions regarding. As he's now going to do something, but it might be a breachy thingy. But he's new, so he's going blatantly. He says I was pointed here regarding an issue quite some time ago, 200 years ago to be precise, regarding a attack on this town, a raid, if you will. During this event, someone of my kind, he'll just phrase it that way. Not the most subtle of thing, but he will try. Met his end during that attack and lost a object which was somewhat of value to our kind, but also something of danger to others. And I was wondering if anyone has any recollection of that period of time or anything that, or at least know the location of said object.
I came to the city about 200 years ago, and I know by your standards, and I know who you are, Torsten. I actually keep tabs on everyone coming in and out of the city, and I know that you are a man who went to the Bishop's Tower recently, and as I am a procurer of goods to the Bishop's Tower, be it books or scrolls of different kinds, I know that you were there talking to Maria not too long ago, or maybe your companions talked. You didn't talk so much.
Just quickly before is Maria the one who got mind fucked by William?
Mind fucked by
Yeah,
William.
yeah.
She's the Lasombra.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, he's the dominating. His waifu basically. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know who. Okay. Yes. Yes, that is correct.
I came here about 200 years ago, and I have been here since. What is this thing you're talking about? More specific things. I'm a man with little time. Even if I have eternity ahead of me, I want things done quickly and effectively. Would you please?
Of course, it's regarding as he will lift up his own little pendant again. It's now an amulet of sorts, a talisman which looks somewhat like this, probably more detailed, and that is the object I am trying to at least find.
Cool. Holy shit.
That old damn son. Holy shit.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's 10 successes.
It's quite a lot.
He's just gonna say, I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I can't compete with that, so.
Never seen it before.
Okay. Torsten just kind of be somewhat surprised at the immense quick answer of it. But yeah, he has no choice but to. As I said, I can't compete with that, so that's.
Of course, it's just subterfuge. So he as you look at him, you can't see. You don't know if he's lying. Like.
No, precisely. I know it. You can still choose not to believe someone in a question. It's a lie.
But As far as you know, he quickly says, straight faced, to the point. Never seen it before.
Okay. Well, at least to keep somewhat in mind that this object is known to have long-term effects. Just the same lie that basically muted media, and I will make a roll in a moment. Um, it is said if a person wears this, and that's why we're trying to retrieve it. It might induce long, small bursts of rage, fits of madness, lunacy, and that's why we're trying to get it out of hands. It has some long-term bad effects. I'm not completely sure what the longest terms are, but what's the difficulty for that?
It's a 6.
The whole one. And that's what two? Two.
Defender wins.
Yeah.
He looks at you. Now, Torsten, come here. Stand up. Let me show you to my drinking hall.
He will follow.
And he shows you through the house a little bit to a smaller room. And he politely asks you, "Now, do you drink? Can you imbibe?"
No.
That's sad. Well, then we can just have a nice seat in this comfy chairs. You see, Torsten, it's it's that when you say these things, it's like I see a hint of dishonesty in your eyes. Is it true what I feel within my nerves that you are not honest with me, Torsten? Do I need to say that this is in all rights my domain and lying to me within my domain would be breach of the commandments of Cain?
Thorsten is going to be ballsy here, and he'll say no, because he doesn't know. In all on his own defense, he doesn't know if he just and because Halfdan told him the amulet might have some effects. He doesn't know if it's complete. So it's in his defense, he is just embellishing the fact a bit.
Mhm.
That's at least how he sees it. And
He he stands up and takes a few paces and sits down again. Now, Torsten, I want you to know that I am a man who you can trust. I don't want anything bad to happen to you in any kind of sort of way. I want to tell me how you feel about this. What is your mission here? There must be some reason you seek this amulet besides that it just might be dangerous for people who are not of your kind. Is it not? And I'm actually gonna make a roll. Sorry. What's your willpower?
6.
Fuck that. No, he doesn't succeed.
The dice abandoned you. One time a session, my friend. One time.
So he doesn't botch, but he tries to use.
Can I? Can I? I don't know how this works. Can your character feel that something that someone is trying to influence you?
No, no, you
Oh.
can't really. It's just a burst of okay. He was kind of cool there, but it's nothing. So no.
Thorsten will just squint his eyes a bit at this. I've been told to retrieve it because of its possibly dangerous properties.
All right.
And I find it, to be very honest, kind of odd. You never heard of the object before, but still now you're going into somewhat of more detail why, how, and what.
I'm going to I'm not gonna say that I haven't seen it before. As said, I've never seen it before. Never heard of it is another thing.
Mm.
You come here and you talk about this thing. Where did you learn this information from? Well, about not the object, but who said to come and talk to me? Because I never think my name has been uttered besides a scholar saying my name at one point, and I don't think that I am so known within the scholarly region that I would actually be the first people you would meet. Say, who's told you to come to me?
He would already know this because I told him Midian and
Oh,
Wolfgang. Yeah.
okay. Oh, yes, Midian. Of course, I know that this might come to a shock to you, but Midian is not always the man who you can trust, not always the man who you can look up to and say that he gives you all the information. Because you see, Midian has had this object for some time, at least I've heard so. Subterfuge.
Going to Summit. Thorsten has he knows. Well, he knows he doesn't know, but he has spoken with Midian, and Midian seems somewhat, at least far more trustworthy than this shady fucker. Um, so he will just say, "Hmm," and you would say where would he stash such an object? Because Midian and is he doesn't seem like the individual who would have much possessions.
Of course not. He keeps a few.
And it would be
Within his shirt, there is a cupboard. I think he stashes some of his jewelry within that cupboard, some crosses, and some other relics.
so he would stake an amulet which basically belongs to somewhat of a different god. What seems to be besides pious. He can now see that Thorsten is not buying this for some reason. He's not. It might be just sheer not willing to believe it. Basically, somewhat remaining of the human side, basically, somewhat new. But he's just not having it, and he can actually. I would say he can notice this.
Mm. Uh, well, of course, it's not about the gods here. It's about an artifact of some value. You see, all these things you're talking about, madness, lunacy, and everything that comes with it, isn't that something that has been plaguing Midian for a while now?
Yes, but he would be suffering from this without the amulet as well, wouldn't he?
I don't
So,
think so. I actually think that his personality of madness is actually that he talks to himself, some sort of schizo talking to himself. Maybe he thinks he's two persons, but lunacy, sickness suddenly, no, that comes from something else now, doesn't it?
yes, quickly, just as you mentioned it last time when we were with Lucius, what a Markavian was, etc. So he's
Yeah.
he will just nod, but he can see he's not agreeing. It's visible on his face. He's probably not hiding it too well, and he'll. Hmm, I see.
And besides, I'm a merchant. I don't do relics. Even if I did have it, even if I did know where it was, I would sell it off to the highest bidder. Even I would sell it to you, my dear sir.
So you do not know anything about the amulet, but you would know a price for it. Mm,
I don't know. I
yes,
have never seen it. As said, I heard about it.
yes, of course, of course. Thorsten is just yeah, he can't of course prove it, but he has the feeling he's being had here in this house. This man, individual, a harsh lesson on that nobody's basically trustworthy. He will just nod and say, "Well, I see this. We're not getting any further on this topic."
Well, if you want the amulet back, or whatever precious thing, I think you said an amulet? Did you?
Yes, trinket,
Yeah.
amulet, talisman. I'm not sure how it looks, but I'm going to assume it's some sort of necklace.
Yeah. I would suggest you go and talk to Midian once more. I think he has it. Maybe he doesn't have it personally, but maybe one of his other personalities, one of the other people living inside him, has stowed it away.
He just nods, but in his mind he's looking somewhat around now, trying to almost. I would say he could catch him almost memorizing the rooms. It's he can see it. It is Thorsten is not that subtle. I'm going to say so. He's just trying to look around a bit and.
Yeah, he puts a hand on the back, your back, and as he stands you up. Now, it was a great pleasure seeing you, Torsten, but I'm afraid that I have a many pressing matter. Would you? It would be so fine to see you some other day, but tonight I'm horribly busy. And he shows you basically as he says that to the door, as the maid old lady opens it, and you're gently shown the door. Now, you're welcome back some other time.
Thorsten just basically follows him outside, but he is looking around somewhat, and I'm going to assume we're going to enter soon. So he will take one look around the house. As from what he can see, I'm going to assume it's walled off, basically, or at least gated somewhat. So he will take somewhat of a look because in his mind, at least he knows he he doesn't know that it's here, but he knows this man knows more. So at least even if he can't retrieve it, he can he can advise where it could be found, or at least for the for in the future reference.
Okay.
Somewhat disappointed though, he will head back to the inn.
Yes. And I think we're gonna end here. Thanks for watching, everyone.